Hi guys, if it's Tuesday, it's Down and Dirty Woodscraft. Stay with me. Okay, first up, Happy New Year. I want to wish all of my followers and everybody that sees this video a Happy New Year. I want joy and happiness to find you wherever you may go. And of course, safe journeys to you. Now, if you hear some popping in the background, that's because the fireworks is going off. It's early in the morning, but that ain't stopped them. They're still doing it from last night. We got a very festive community around here. So, what we're going to talk about today is, remember a couple of videos ago I talked about if the wine is bad, throw it out. Well, we're going to talk about today is making modification to your gear. And this is a very specific modification. Now, okay, y'all know my Master Woodsman by William Collins. This is the prototype that I'm the one that did the testing, etc. You know that. Well, I've had this for, what, 2 years now? I love this knife, absolutely. But there's a minor little imperfection that bothers me. It isn't a flaw in the design. It's just something that more my lifestyle is, and that is the 90-degree spine on this knife. Now, William puts a very good, very aggressive 90-degree spine, which is great for shaving wood and feather stick, you know, making them off of a piece, and shaving fat lighter and all the above. But he takes it all the way to the tip. And that's where I got a problem. Up here at the very tip, the back side of the tip, both of those two back edges are sharp. Now what I want is, I use this as skinning. So I want to be able to bear down onto the meat and slide it without that tip digging in. I want to slide it underneath the hide and let it roll up onto this curve and therefore slice. See? But that back edge is too sharp. So I'm going to do a little modification. I'm going to dull about that last ½ inch right there, round it over, so it will slide rather than bite in. Okay, stay with me and I'll show you how we're going to do it. First thing I'm going to do is find a nice stable place to do this operation. I'm going to take a piece of masking tape, just a couple inches long, nothing big. I'm going to use it to protect the back edge of the knife that I don't want to modify. Now I only want about this last ½ inch right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right at that line, and I'm going to put a piece of tape going across, go over it again, just like that, and one more time. That way, that 90-degree spine back this way will remain sharp, but I can deal with this little tip right here and not worry about damaging this. Now what am I going to use? Initially, I'm going to use a small mill bastard file. What I'm going to do is I'm going to chunk it up in something that's not going to move. And all I'm going to do is, going from the blade edge toward the back, I'm going to break that sharp edge off. Just like that. It don't take much. Turn the file around. Until I have round over that edge right there on top. Now you notice I don't want to damage the very tip edge, so I'm just taking the sides off of that, just like this. I'm taking my finger and feeling it. Still a little bit right there. Alright. Now that that's been taken care of, we move to the next section. Now I can use sandpaper, I can use whatever, but what I'm going to use is this old carbundum stone that's about half wore out. I'm going to set it up there and I'm going to take that back edge, like you just saw. I'm going to go cross grain with it a little bit on both of those two sides, just like that. And then drawing towards the tip, around that very edge off. Now coming on the actual tip itself, I'll shift over to the other side, and I'll just true up that tip on the sharp edge. Make sure I didn't roll a burr over. And that's got that done. Now by doing that little bitty nothing of a modification, I've really done something with this now. Now what that's done is that's removed that sharpness back there. And where I've seen that sharpness being a problem is when I'm trying to clean something like fish. And I'm trying to slide in to skin a cat and don't go into the meat. I'm trying to skin it. That two sharp back edges was actually scratching and digging in and causing weak spots that when I went to pulling, it tore. So I want to avoid that. Now I can bear down and see how my skin puckers up right there. Let me show you. See how I can bear down and see how my skin wants to pucker up? If I go up on top of it like that, I can now slide without it digging in. That tip now will work a lot better for skinning, for my cleaning, stuff like that. But I still got from there to there, it's still a good 90-degree spine. So when I choke up on it to do this, that back edge now being a little dulled does add something to it. It's the little things, guys, that makes such a difference. Now, was it William's fault that it was sharp? Yeah, because William puts a really good 90-degree spine, and I'm very pleased with that for shaving and for, you know, scraping and etc. It's perfect. But that last little tip right there, when I was using the butcher knife years ago to process a lot of game, I learned to keep that back side a little bit dull so I could bear down on the meat and slide it, you know, where you pierce into the fur, lift it up, stick the tip underneath, and you could just slide it, and the fur would roll over onto this sharp edge, but the back of the blade didn't dig into the meat, so you just slid him like a zipper and opened him up. And in processing meat and game, it makes a difference. So that little modification. Now let's real quick look at another small little modification. This modification is on the WCSK. As you can tell, I've been using mine a lot. It's not shiny anymore, and this is serial number 4. Now, but there is one thing you got to understand when you get a knife that's custom made. The maker is making the knife to fit a given size. Maybe that is not perfect for your hand, but in my case with the Backwoodsman and the WCSK, this grip can be sanded by you to fit. Don't go crazy on the grinder, but if there's some little place there that take a little bit of sandpaper, wrap it around a dowel if it's in a hollow, or flat if it's an edge. And as you can see on mine right here, notice how dark the grip is, and then see how light this bevel is right here? I've relieved that. I took a little sanding block and went over because this width thickness was a little bit too big for my grip. So that when I choked up on it way up here, it felt like it was a little too broad. I modified. If the wine is bad, throw it out. Even though I love this knife, it needed a little tweak by me to make it fit. And you can do the same thing. These knives that have this type of handle on it, you can lightly sand it to get it to the shape you want, and then just switch to a finer sandpaper to make like a finish to it. It's not like polished wood. It's actually layers that are impregnated, and so therefore you can shape it. Suppose you got this and this hump was too high. You could sand it a little flatter. Suppose I need these a little deeper. Put something on a round rod and go across and make them a little deeper. Make it yours. That's the whole secret to making a tool fit you. Nobody knows your hands like you. And although I love this knife, it was just a grunt too big. And on the Master Woodsman, that tip kind of bothered me a little bit. So get off your tail and fix it. And that's what this is about. If the wine is bad, throw it out. Make that little modification. If every time I use this tool I get a hot spot in my hand, find what's causing it, get rid of it. Just my 2 cents worth, guys. Hope this gives you an idea. Got more videos coming in 2019, and I hope you'll stick around. Please subscribe if you hadn't, and hit that little alarm button that they talk about. I greatly appreciate everything you've done for me in 2018, and I hope you'll follow me in 2019. Till next time, I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge Woodscraft, wishing you safe journeys Have a great day, guys.